Before the miracle can reach you, before the divine shift can find its rightful home in your life, there's something urgent and holy that you must be willing to see. Something that has been quietly shaping your journey from the background. Something you've either overlooked or resisted, but can no longer ignore if you were to step into the fullness of what heaven is preparing to release over you. Because this miracle is not just a gift. It is a turning point, a prophetic marker in your life that has been delayed by unseen hands and unconscious choices. And God is saying now in a voice that pierces every layer of your soul, I have always intended to bless you, to elevate you, to deliver you. But there are blind spots in your heart and distractions in your spirit that must be cleared so that what I'm sending doesn't become another opportunity buried beneath fear, confusion, or disobedience. And you need to understand that my miracles are holy. They are living, breathing extensions of my will, and I will not release them where there is no preparation, no discernment, no space for them to land and grow. And though your prayers have been sincere, though your tears have been many, though your longing has been real, I could not give you what would have destroyed you in the condition you were in. So I waited, not to punish you, but to protect you, to give you time, to open your eyes to what's been standing in the way, not outside of you, but within, in your mind, in your patterns in. The stories you've told yourself about what you deserve and who you are and what's possible for someone like you. And I'm telling you now that the miracle is ready. It is hovering near. It is closer than you can imagine. But it will only come into view when you finally confront the thing you've been avoiding. The lie you've believed, the attachment you've clung to, the role you've performed just to be loved. And this is not about shame. It's about revelation. It's about finally seeing with the eyes of the Spirit, about recognizing that there have been divine signs all around you, angelic messages hidden in ordinary moments. But you were too hurt, too distracted, too focused on survival to decode them. And that is why this message is reaching now. Not a second too soon or a second too late, because the veil is thinner than ever. Because I have dispatched Archangel Michael himself to walk beside you as you prepare for what is coming. And he has seen the weight of what you've carried, the battles you fought in silence, the nights you felt like giving up, and he's been crying out for you in the courts of heaven, asking me to make a way, to grant you one more chance to align, to open your eyes, to get back in position. And I heard him just like I've heard you, and that is why I'm speaking now, clearly, unmistakably, in a voice that your soul recognizes even if your mind resists it. Because you have run out of time to ignore the truth. You have run out of space to delay the transformation. And I will not force you, but I will invite you again. Come back to me, not with hollow words, but with surrendered will, with open hands, with a heart willing to be broken so I can remake it with purpose. Because this miracle will not arrive in the old version of you. It requires the you that trusts again, the you that listens again, the you that believes not because of what you see, but because of who you know I am. And I am the same yesterday, today, and forever I am. The one who brought you through what was meant to bury you. I am the one who kept your soul intact when everything else fell apart. And I have not kept count of your failures. I have kept record of your faith, and even the little faith you had, even in moments you whispered prayers while doubting their power. Even the time you gave me one more chance through your tears, I saw it, I honored it, and I preserved the miracle not in spite of you, but for you, waiting for the time when you could finally see what had to be seen first. That my love for you is not performance-based, that my call on your life has not been revoked, that your destiny was written in the breath I placed in you before you had a name, and no mistake, no heartbreak, no betrayal, no season of silence has canceled that assignment. But you must see this now. See how I've been present all along. See how every delay was divine redirection. See how even the rejection was protection from lesser things. Because what I'm bringing now is greater than you've dared to imagine. But it comes with responsibility, with clarity, with alignment. And that is what I'm awakening in you through this moment. This message, this encounter with the raw presence of my voice. And as you sit here, Something inside you knows this is different, knows this is me, not religion, not manipulation, not fear tactics, but real, sacred truth vibrating through your soul, breaking the chains that have disguised themselves as comfort. And if you will stay open, if you will not click away, if you will lean into the discomfort of this divine confrontation, you will begin to sense the miracle drawing nearer, shifting timelines, rearranging outcomes, rewriting what the enemy wrote in fear, because my word overrides all of it. But you must let it in. You must let me in, not as a part-time savior, but as the center of your decision-making, your priorities, your identity. And if you will say yes to that, truly yes, then not only will the miracle come, it will come with confirmation so undeniable, so specific, so tailored to your soul, that you will never again doubt who sent it or who you are in me. Because now that you've begun to see, truly see, there is no going back to blindness. No more pretending that the whispers in your heart are just coincidences or emotional stirrings. No more silencing the spirit that has been gently nudging you, warning you, guiding you while you were too busy surviving to realize you were being rescued. And I, the Lord your God, who formed you in the secret place, am not asking for perfection. I am asking for permission to finish what I started in you, because the miracle is not just a blessing for your comfort. It is a release of heaven's power that must flow through clean channels. And right now, I'm not only restoring you, I am sanctifying your perspective. I am rewiring your mind. I am stripping away the filters you've inherited from trauma and failure and religion, so that when the miracle comes, you can see it clearly for what it is, and not dismiss it or dilute it or disqualify yourself from it like you have in the past when I try to show you a glimpse of your worth. And this time, I need you to stop explaining away the divine. Stop brushing off the sacred nudges. Stop allowing fear and familiarity to choke out the supernatural instructions I've been delivering to you through dreams, conversations, delays, and even heartbreaks, because yes, even the pain had a purpose. Even the betrayal had a lesson wrapped in fire. Even the silence you resented was me drawing you out of the noise and into discernment. And now that your spirit is finally awake enough to hear me clearly, I'm going to speak without holding back, because time is no longer on your side. There are decisions you must make now, alignments you must break now, territories you must claim now, or you will watch another season of your life pass by without stepping into the inheritance I've been holding in suspension over your life. And let me be clear, the miracle is not a maybe. It is not a lottery ticket. It is already written in the archives of heaven under your name. But the question is not whether I will deliver it. The question is whether you will be ready to hold it when it arrives. And readiness is not about being flawless. It's about being faithful. It's about finally admitting that what you've built outside of me cannot carry what I'm sending, that your talent, your intellect, your hustle will never be enough without the breath of my favor behind it. And that's what this moment is about. Realizing that what you need most is not more strategy, not more validation from others, but more of me, more of my presence, more of my direction, more of my fire burning away what was never meant to survive this next level. Because you're not stepping into a slightly better version of what you already know. You're being invited into something entirely new, a spiritual upgrade that requires a shedding of old wineskins, old mentalities, old cycles that have pretended to be protection, but were really prison cells dressed in comfort. And I say this in love. The version of you that was acceptable in the last season will sabotage the miracle in this one if it's not transformed. And that is why I am confronting you now with this truth, because the price of your next miracle is your old mindset. And if you are willing to let that go, if you are willing to stop rehearsing your limitations and start declaring my promises, to stop bowing to fear and start acting on faith, then I will meet you with a wave of confirmation so undeniable that your enemies will have to acknowledge that the hand of the Lord is on your life. And you will see doors open that should have stayed shut, relationships align that seemed impossible, resources flow from directions you never expected. And most of all, You will feel peace again, not temporary peace based on circumstances, but divine peace that anchors you even in the chaos. Because the miracle isn't just coming to change your situation. It's coming to change your state of being, to remind you that you were created to carry glory, to walk in dominion, to reflect my image even in broken places. And yes, you've failed. And yes, you've fallen short. And yes, you've wrestled with doubt. But my covenant with you was never based on your perfection. It was based on my promise. And that promise stands today just as strong as it did when I first whispered it into your spirit, even when you didn't fully understand it. And now, as you open yourself, as you release your grip on what was never meant to, last, I will begin to reveal the miracle in stages. First in your inner world, then in your atmosphere, then in the visible realm, and you'll know it is me, not because it's easy, but because it aligns perfectly with what I've been shaping in the deepest parts of your soul. And as you surrender, I will surround you, I will shield you, I will send signs so specific they will leave no room for doubt. And you will walk in a level of favor that seems unfair to those who don't know your wilderness, who don't know the tears you cried in silence, who don't know the sacrifices you made in secret. But I know, and heaven knows, and now heaven is responding. Not because you earned it, but because you endured long enough to be entrusted with it. And if you're still here, still listening, still receiving, then you're closer than ever, because only the spiritually ready can endure the weight of this message. And as you continue, you'll begin to feel it in your chest. The miracle is moving, approaching, pulsing with power, and the moment of release is almost here. And now that you're beginning to feel the atmosphere shift, now that your soul is awakening to the magnitude of what I, the Lord your God, have set in motion on your behalf, I must bring you even deeper, not for drama, not for emotion's sake, but because what I'm about to release cannot be handled by surface-level faith or part-time surrender. For the miracle you are about to receive is not a small adjustment or an incremental improvement. It is a total, holy recalibration of the storyline of your life, and it cannot rest upon foundations still cracked by unbelief, still weakened by spiritual compromise, still echoing with the voices of those who spoke fear over your future. And that is why this moment matters more than you know. This alignment, this divine intervention that appears in the form of a message, disguised as just another piece of content. But in truth, it is the voice of heaven itself, piercing through every wall you've built to protect yourself from the very breakthrough you've cried out for. And I'm saying again, louder now, clearer now, more urgently than ever. Open your eyes and see what you have not yet seen. See that my hand has been all over your life, even when you thought I was silent, even when it felt like I abandoned you, even when it seemed like prayers bounced off the ceiling, because the reality is I was closer than your breath, orchestrating delays that would later be revealed as protection, blocking relationships you begged for, but that would have crushed your soul, shutting doors that looked promising but led to spiritual decay. And while you grieved those endings, I was preparing a beginning so sacred, so strategically placed in time, that if I revealed it too soon, it would have spoiled under the weight of your unhealed wounds. But not anymore. Not now, because the miracle is no longer in preparation. It is in motion. And the only thing left is your readiness to receive what I've preserved in my own hand, sealed in grace, protected from sabotage, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the moment your spirit would rise above the noise and respond to my call without resistance. And this is that moment, whether your mind can accept it or not, whether your past can explain it or not, whether others believe it or not. None of that matters now, because I am the one writing this chapter, and no human pen, no demonic interference, no memory of who you used to be can cancel what I have ordained for who you are becoming. And I need you to hear this. There are miracles attached to your name that no one else can claim, blueprints of blessing that have been stored in the vaults of heaven awaiting the version of you that would dare to believe again, that would dare to obey without knowing the full plan, that would dare to say yes even while trembling. And I tell you now, The trembling is a sign, not of fear, but of awakening, of spiritual vibration, of heaven touching earth through your obedience, and I will honor it. Not because you've figured it all out, but because you're finally surrendering without conditions, finally allowing me to touch the deepest parts of your soul that you've kept guarded for so long. And in that surrender, miracles are born, not just around you, but within you, because what I'm doing is not limited to material breakthrough. It is internal resurrection. It is emotional recalibration. It is relational renewal. And yes, it is provision beyond your imagination, but first and always it is transformation, because your heart must be able to carry the weight of what your hands will soon hold. And this is why I have delayed no longer, why I have allowed this divine encounter to find you now, at this very point in your timeline, where everything in your spirit has been crying out for more, for clarity, for confirmation, for deliverance. And I am saying this to you with love that is fierce and unshakable. You were never meant to live a watered-down version of your calling. Never. Meant to stay trapped in cycles of almost, of nearly, of one step forward and three steps back. And that is why this miracle will not only push you forward, it will break you out. It will sever the cords to old timelines. It will silence the whispers of shame and fear that have haunted you for years. And you will rise, not because you are pretending to be strong, but because I will be your strength. I will be your vindication. I will be the one who answers every question with favor, every doubt with direction, every tear with transformation. And when others ask how it happened, you won't be able to point to a strategy or a system or a person. You will only be able to say, God did it, because that is how miraculous it will be, so specific, so timely, so undeniably divine that even your enemies will fall silent, and not out of awe for you, but out of reverence for me, the one who chose you, called you, refined you, and now reveals you for such a time as this, because I never forgot you. I never left you, and I never changed my mind about you. And that is why this message is here now, to reawaken your faith, to prepare your heart, to restore your trust, and to remind you that the miracle is coming, yes, but what you must see first is me, my intention, my design, my nearness, my love. And if you can see that, truly see it, then nothing will be able to stop what I'm about to do in your life, because what I start, I finish, and what I bless, no curse can reverse, and what I release will come with peace, power, and a prophetic clarity that marks you forever. And now, beloved one, we arrive at the culmination, the sacred point of convergence where all the signs, all the whispers, all the seemingly random pieces align to form the full picture that I've been painting over the canvas of your life since the beginning of time. A picture hidden in layers of divine intention that only now are being unveiled because your spirit has endured enough to carry the truth. Your heart has been broken enough to make room for the blessing, and your soul has finally become tender enough to receive not just a miracle, but the meaning behind it. For this is not merely about receiving what you've asked for. It is about becoming who you were born to be. And this is why I, the Lord your God, am speaking to you now with thunderous love. Do not mistake this moment as coincidence. Do not pass this off as poetic sentiment or spiritual flattery. For I am telling you plainly that your life is on the brink of supernatural acceleration, and the miracle that is coming has already begun shifting in the invisible realm. Even as these words reach you, for I have sent angels to open doors, to unlock hearts, to dismantle barriers built by man and reinforced by fear. And yes, I am speaking of actual manifestations, reconciliations that seemed impossible, healings that doctors will not be able to explain, financial increase that flows from directions you never considered, restoration of your name, your calling, your identity, and relationships that carry purpose not pain, joy not confusion, clarity not chaos. But do not miss what I'm also telling you beneath the surface. This miracle is not about fixing what is broken. It is about elevating you to a realm where you no longer define yourself by what has been broken. And that is why you had to go through what you did, why the waiting was so long, why the silence was so deep, because I was not withholding anything from you. I was preparing everything for you, including you for it. For had I given you the miracle before this hour, it would have turned into burden instead of blessing. It would have distracted you from my face instead of drawing you closer to my heart. But now you are ready, not perfect, but positioned. And because of that, I am commanding the floodgates to open, the chains to fall, the timelines to shift. And yes, I am issuing a divine reversal of every curse, every delay, every false word spoken against you. For I have watched in silence while others underestimated you, while doors slammed in your face, while people you trusted betrayed your heart. But I say this now. I will repay, I will restore, I will reward, for you are not forgotten, and your obedience, even when no one noticed, has built an altar that now calls forth a fire from heaven that cannot be quenched. And this fire will burn away what was never of me, illuminate what I have assigned to you, and ignite new strength, new gifts, new vision, and new resources, because I'm not just releasing a miracle. I am launching a mission, and you are the vessel, you are the light bearer, you are the answer to someone else's prayer. And this is why the attack against your mind was so intense, why your past was so painful, why your progress was so opposed, because the enemy knew if you ever woke up to your identity in me, the chains would break, the atmosphere would shift, the dry places would bloom, and now it is happening. Even if you can't fully see it, even if it doesn't yet look like breakthrough. The moment your heart opened to this message, you stepped into alignment with something so holy that heaven began to move on your behalf. And as confirmation, I will send a sign within the next 72 hours. Not vague, not hidden, but clear, impossible to deny, a divine timestamp that will mark the beginning of an unfolding that no man can stop. And when it comes, do not be afraid, do not second guess. Do not let logic cancel what your spirit has already recognized, for you must move. Quickly, you must trust me completely. You must speak boldly, for this miracle is not a conclusion. It is a beginning, the launching point of the life you were truly created to live. And yes, the pain was real, but the promise is greater. And yes, the loss hurt, but the restoration will heal in waves so deep it will reach into places you forgot existed. And because you have not given up, because you stayed faithful in the wilderness, because you kept showing up when it felt pointless, because you kept believing even when your hands were empty, I am honoring that with more than you prayed for, with access you didn't ask for, with peace that surpasses understanding, and joy that bubbles up from wells you thought were dry. And now, as you finish receiving these words, I am still speaking, not through text, but through confirmation in your surroundings, through shifts in your relationships, through dreams in the night and ideas that strike like lightning during the day. And if you keep your spirit tuned to me, you will not miss what I am sending, and it will be greater than the breakthrough you imagined. And to those who make it to the end of this message, to those whose hearts burn with recognition and hunger, I am giving a double portion, a blessing so visible it will make up for every invisible season. And yes, I am giving a miracle that will begin before this week ends, but only if you take this seriously, only if you respond, and to show your commitment, declare with faith. Right now, I receive it, I will not miss it, I will see what you're showing me, Lord, because this is the kind of declaration that unlocks the final gate. And once you do, watch what happens next, because the Lord your God, do not lie, and I have never forgotten the miracle with your name on it.